Welcome everyone. In today's lesson, I'll be discussing some revision question paper. So I have selected today 2019 June final term test paper of DS Senanayaka College. This is the MCQ paper. In this video, I am trying to discuss few questions from this question paper. If you want to find out the question paper, I have added the question paper in PDF format in the description below. You can find it out. So, shall I start with the first question? So, in the first question, it is telling which of the following is correct regarding characteristics of organisms. First one says species belongs to hierarchical level of organization. This is wrong. Instead of species, organism is there in the hierarchical level of organization. Viviparity in some mangroves is an example for irritability. This is an example for adaptation, so this statement is also wrong. Third one, some non-living entities display all the characteristics of living at some stages. We can't say all the characteristics of living organisms. It is some of the characteristics of living organisms may be present in non-living entities. That statement is also wrong. In the fourth one, evolution is the ability of an organism to change over time to another species as a result of variation. I am taking this sentence is also wrong. It is because children, remember, evolution is not a process which is happening to one particular individual. Evolution is a process which is happening to population or a species, right? So, I am not taking this also as a correct sentence. This is also again wrong. When it comes to the fifth sentence, it says growth is an irreversible change that occurs during the lifespan of an organism. This is also, I can take it as wrong. It's because it is telling about development. It's not the growth. Growth is an irreversible increase of dry mass or volume over time. So in this question, actually I am giving you all the sentences are wrong. So I am giving all as correct answers for this one because all the statements given here are wrong. I am coming to the second question. Second question, it is asking which statement is incorrect regarding the carbohydrates. The first one says present in heredity material. As you know, in the DNA and RNA, in the DNA as deoxyribose sugar, in the RNA as ribose sugar, we have pentose sugars. So these are carbohydrates. That is correct. Second one, some are osmotically inactive within the cells. That is true. This is especially we are talking about sucrose. Sucrose is a osmotically inactive substance, so that we are taking it in phloem translocation as well. Then next one, most abundant organic compounds on earth. That is also again true. Carbohydrates are the ones which are most abundant on the earth, especially the cellulose is the most abundant carbohydrate in the earth, right? So next one, present in all organisms. So comparatively in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes, all types of organisms are having carbohydrates in different forms. So that is also correct. The last sentence, all have glycosidic bonds. This is kind of a tricky question. So it is telling glycosidic bonds are there in carbohydrates. But it doesn't tell every carbohydrate is having this kind of glycosidic bond. It's because the monosaccharide, they don't build bonds in between their individual units. So monosaccharides doesn't have glycosidic bonds. So the statement 5 is wrong here. The third question, which of the following is not a lipid? The correct answer for the question is chondrine. Chondrine is actually protein carbohydrate complex. So that we can take it as the third answer, which is correct. When it comes to the fourth one, the following statements are related to the organelles subcellular components in the cell. Okay, first of all, tell me what is the difference between subcellular component and the organelle? Okay, so even some substance which is found inside the cell, even if it is bounded by a membrane or not, it is called as subcellular component. So there are special types of subcellular components which are surrounded by membranes. We call them as organelles. So organelles are having either one membrane or two membrane. So there are given some statements. Statement A says prokaryotes also have a type of cytoskeleton which is made up of protein. This is kind of confusing, children. So what we have learned as cytoskeleton is all about eukaryotic cytoskeleton. But we can't forget that the prokaryotes also having a cytoskeleton like structure. It is not the same thing that we learn, because what we learn is having three types of filaments. Microtubules, intermediate filaments and microfilaments. So those are the three types of filaments that we discuss in our syllabus, right? So that is correct, that can be taken as correct. So B, both mitochondria and chloroplast in living cells can change their shape. This statement also have been taken from your reference material, which is from Campbell Biology book. So it is also telling those two organelles can change their shape. Part C, it is telling nuclear lamina and nuclear matrix organize genetic material to their function. This is again true. This statement is taken from Campbell Biology book. Enzymes in lysosomes are most efficient in acidic environment. This is also again true statement which is taken from the same book. So we can take all of the above are correct. That is the correct answer. Correct answer is number 5. I'm coming to the fifth question. Fifth question, it is asking which of the following is correct regarding enzymes. Hemoglobin, first sentence, hemoglobin is an allosteric enzyme which is made up of 4 subunits. Hemoglobin is a protein, Pute, so it is not an enzyme. So in our book, when they are describing about enzyme activity, they have taken hemoglobin. It's because it's a good example to tell about it. But remember, it's not an enzyme. So second one, ADP act as an allosteric inhibitor to slow down the production of ATP. So this statement is also wrong. It is acting as an allosteric activator in the production of ATP. Third one, activator involves in allosteric activation while substrate involves in cooperativity. This is the correct statement in this question. So third can be get as the correct one. So the fourth one, let's go to the fourth one and see. Feedback inhibition increases the catalytic activity. It is actually decreasing the catalytic activity, the feedback inhibition. Fifth one, regulatory molecules act as reversible competitive inhibitors. These regulatory molecules are binding to a site which is not the active site. Because of that, these regulatory molecules are acting as reversible non-competitive manner. I'm coming to the sixth question. Fifth question answer is number 3. Sixth question, which of the following is correct regarding photosynthesis? All 3 steps in the Calvin cycle use ATP produced in light reaction. If we recall the memory of 3 steps, first step is carbon fixation, second step is the reduction phase, third step is the regeneration of RUBP. From the above 3 steps mentioned, only second and third steps are utilizing the ATP which is produced in the light reactions. Second one, nitrogen use efficiency is higher in C3 than C4 due to presence of Rubisco. This is totally wrong. Nitrogen fixation efficiency, nitrogen use efficiency is higher in C4 plants than that of C3 plants. This is scientifically proven. C4 plants have higher nitrogen using efficiency. Third one, photorespiration is the formation of phosphoglycolate and converting phosphoglycolate to PGA using energy and releasing carbon dioxide. It is also again wrong. Photorespiration is a long process. PGA and phosphoglycolate, which is produced from the reaction of RUBP with oxygen, now being converted into less toxic compound. This is a long process. You have to go and find out the description about photorespiration. Then PEP carboxylase is the most abundant protein on earth. This is wrong. RUBP carboxylase oxygenase, or else we can tell Rubisco enzyme is the most abundant enzyme on earth. That means the protein on earth. Fifth one, the splitting of water molecules occur only by photons of light in Graner. Splitting of water molecules occur only in photons by Graner. So that is the correct answer we can take as the correct one. Number 5 is correct in the question number 6. In the 7th one, which of the following is incorrect regarding respiration? Pyruvates enter the mitochondrion via transport proteins by active transport. This is true. In some cells, pyruvates enter via active transport. So that some of the energy which is produced in the glycolysis, that means the 2 net ATPs produced in the glycolysis, is utilized in order to transport these pyruvates into the mitochondria. Net amount of 30 ATP are produced in brain cells, while net amount of 32 ATPs are produced in liver and heart cells by 1 glucose molecules. As we discussed, the liver and heart cells, they are not utilizing these 2 ATP in order to transport pyruvate into mitochondrion, so that those cells, they are having total amount of 32 ATP produced, and then the other cells, they have 30 ATPs produced. Decarboxylation occurs in both oxidation of pyruvate and citric acid cycle. Decarboxylation means release of carbon dioxide. In both the processes, we are releasing carbon dioxide. So, we can take this also as correct statement. And the fourth one, NADH and FADH2 are produced only when glucose is used as the respiratory substrate. That is wrong. There are other substrate molecules also can enter into the respiration pathway, so that they are going through the same pathway while producing these particular coenzymes. And then fifth one, final electron acceptor is an inorganic molecule in aerobic respiration, while the final hydrogen acceptor is an organic in anaerobic respiration. This is true. In the aerobic respiration, oxygen is the final electron acceptor, whereas in the anaerobic respiration, acetaldehyde is the final hydrogen acceptor. So, which is the organic molecule, oxygen is an inorganic molecule. So, answer for the 7th question is number 4. 8th one, which of the following is incorrect regarding cyanobacteria? According to the given answers, I am taking number 2 as the wrong answer, because nitrogen fixation occurs in akinase, they tell. So, the nitrogen fixation is happening in heterocyst. Heterocyst is the structure which is fixing nitrogen in cyanobacteria. Number 9, which of the following correct regarding Cenozoic era? Origin of mammals, also wrong, it is in Mesozoic era. Cone bearing plants are dominated in Mesozoic era. Dinosaurs dominated and diverse in Mesozoic era. Angiosperms appeared and diversified in Mesozoic era. Major radiation of mammals occur in Cenozoic. So the answer is number 5. I'm coming to question number 10. Some characteristic features of plant kingdom are given below. All vascular plants have megaphylls except lycophyte. This is wrong. Lycophytes, which is lycopodium, is doesn't have megaphils, that means megasporophils, as well as Nephrolipis also doesn't have megasporophils. That means they are homosporous plants. And then second one, in this question, part B, some gymnosperms have flagelline sperms. So this can be taken as true. In some places they have mentioned that in some of the primitive gymnosperms they must be having flagella in their sperms. So, part C, pterophytes are more recent common ancestors with seed plants. This is true. So the correct statements we can take as statement B and C. So it is given in the answer 2 in the question number 10. If we discuss question number 11, which of the following is correct regarding kingdom fungi? It says Chytridiomycota is the only fungi phylum which possesses aquatic organisms. This is true. Chytridiomycota, there are fungal species which are present in watery environments. Second one, unicellular fungi do not produce mycelium. The fungal mycelium is produced by the fungi which are multicellular, or as we tell them as molds. Molds are the ones which are producing mycelium. So I have taken the second answer as wrong answer here in the question number 11. Ascomycota produce exogenous ascospores and endogenous conidia. This is again wrong. It is in order to make this sentence correct, we have to tell Ascomycota produce endogenous ascospores as well as exogenous conidia. Next one, monokaryotic stage is dominant in the life cycle of agaricus. This belongs to Basidiomycota. Basidiomycots are having dikaryotic stage prominent. Fifth one, all fungi produce Haustoria. This is also again wrong. Question number 12 is an all syllabus question. So, but if any case anyone want to know the answer is number 1, which is prawn. An organism possesses 2 pairs of antennae, cephalothorax and jointed appendages, which is prawn. And 13, question number 13, which of the following is not a characteristic of meristematic cells? First one, they are living cells. This is true. Second one, have central nucleus. Third one, are structurally differentiated. This is the wrong statement here because the meristematic cells are not structurally or functionally differentiated. They are undifferentiated cells. Whenever necessary, they can be differentiated into other types of tissues. Fourth one, have a dense cytoplasm. This is correct. And the fifth one is also correct. They have the ability to multiply. So among the 5 answers which are given in this question number 13, number 3 is the wrong answer here. And 14th one, which of the following supports statolith hypothesis? Statoliths aggregate at the top points of the root cap. It is wrong. They are aggregating at the low points of the root cap. Second one, redistribution of calcium 2+ at the lower side of the root cap. This is the true statement in this question. And the third one, it says lateral transport of auxin takes place in the root cap. It is not in the root cap, in the root it is happening. And fourth one, high concentration of auxin accumulates elongation of cells in the root. Accumulation of high auxin inhibit the root elongation. The side which is the area which is having high concentration of auxin is having less growth. So therefore the root is now bent towards down and they grow down. And then the fifth one, rapid growth occurs at the lower side during root growth. Rapid growth is happening in the upper side. So the rapid growth is happening in the upper side. The correct answer for the question number 14 is number 2. When we come to question number 15 is telling which of the following is correct regarding transverse sections of a monocotyledonous leaf and a dicotyledonous leaf. So in this question it says both have different types of mesophiles. We can't tell this one correct because only in the dicot leaf only that the differentiation of mesophiles into palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma is happening, but not in the monocot leaves. Monocot leaves we can't see such a differentiation. And then when it comes to number 2, calcium is cambium is present in between xylem and phloem of dicot leaf. This is again wrong. Cambium is not present in between xylem and phloem of the leaf. And then presence of collenchyma outside the vascular bundles in dicot leaf. This came in a recent past paper question. They also have given outside to the vascular bundle collenchyma or sclerenchyma can be present in dicot leaves. So third one can be taken as a correct answer. And then vascular bundles are approximately in same size in monocot leaf and in the different sizes in dicot leaf. This is also again can be taken as a correct answer when you take the cross section. Because of the parallel venation, the monocot leaves, they have same size vascular bundles, but in the dicot leaves they don't have such a organization. It's because they have reticulate venation. When you cut, different sizes are appeared, right? So monocots also there will be comparatively difference in size in the major vessel, major vein and the other veins. So I can take 4 also as an answer. So number 3 and 4 I have taken as answers here. Stomata are located mainly in the upper epidermis of the dicot leaf. This is other way around. The stomata in higher number in lower epidermis of the dicot plant. Monocot compared to that, monocot are having equal distribution of stomata in lower and upper epidermis. I'm coming to question number 16. In the question number 16 they say, which of the following is correct regarding methods of boat and solutes movement? If we recall our memory regarding the movement of water, these mechanisms, there are mechanisms which are for shorter distance, which are for longer distances. Long distances, what we learn is bulk flow. Shorter distances, osmosis, diffusion, imbibition, facilitated diffusion. Those are there for shorter distances. And there are active transport method as well as passive transport method. So if you consider your memory about this particular question, the correct answer should be number 4, passive transport, facilitated diffusion for short distance. That is the correct answer. Question number 17. Which of the following combination is incorrect regarding trace element and its function? The correct answer is number 1. It says chlorine for growth of pollen tube. It is totally wrong. Chlorine is there for osmosis and ionic balance in photosynthesis. Number 18. The following are some of the functions related with plant growth substances. Auxin promote the vascular differentiation. This is very true. And the B, it says gibberellins stimulate pollen development. This is also correct one. C, cytokinins promote the seed dormancy. This is wrong. Abscisic is the one which is promoting the seed dormancy. D, ethylene enhances the rate of senescence of leaves. This is again true. So A, B and D answers are correct. So the correct answer for this question number 18 would be answer number 1. So number 19, it is asking which of the following is incorrect regarding responses of plants to stresses. So if you remember the lesson regarding this one, it says drought stress increases the synthesis of abscisic acid. This is there to close the stomata, so therefore increases the release and synthesis of abscisic acid is always happening in the drought stress. And the cold stress, lipids in the cell membrane convert into crystalline structure. So this prevents damaging of the cell membrane by becoming the cell membrane lipids into crystalline structure. And the next one, cold stress. Water in the intercellular spaces freezes before freezing water into the cytosol. So water in the intercellular spaces are freezing before the water in the cytosol. This prevents define, that means the freezing of the water in the cytosol earlier. That means it will damage to the cell if the water in the cytosol also freezes, right? Next one, soil stress. Water potential gradient increases from the soil to root. This has to be other way around. What is happening is soil stress is decreasing the water potential gradient from the soil to root. So therefore, under the soil stresses, the water uptake from the plant will be decreased due to this decrease of the gradient, water potential gradient. So number 19, I am taking number 4 as the wrong answer here. And then fifth response, they are telling salt stress, presence of salt glands in mangrove plants. Salt stress, yeah, that is also taken as correct answer here. So number 4 is the wrong answer in number 19. 20th question, select the step in holozoic mode of nutrition which does not occur only in the alimentary canal. Correct answer is the assimilation step, answer number 4. Number 21, child shows following symptoms of vitamin deficiency: fatigue, anemia and delay in wound healing. So we can take number 1 as the correct answer, which is telling fatigue is related with pantothenic acid, anemia is related with folic acid and ascorbic acid is related with delay in wound healing. I'm going to question number 22. Question number 22 says blood circulatory systems are found among animals as, first one A, open blood circulatory system. You can see open blood circulatory system especially in mollusca and arthropods. Then second one B, closed single blood circulatory system. Closed single blood circulatory system can be seen in fishes. C, closed double circulatory system. Mammals, especially mammals and birds, we can see closed double circulation, closed complete double circulation. And then according to the given answers, I am taking answer number 2, slug, which is a mollusk, and fish, which is having a closed single circulatory system, and crow, which is having closed double circulatory system. Answer number 2 is the answer for the question number 22. When it comes to question number 23, select correct statement regarding human respiratory system. First answer, exhalation is usually an active process. Inhalation is the active process among these breathing process. Exhalation is inactive process. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood does not affect the rate of transpiration. This is wrong. This is the one which is recognizing whether we want to breathe faster or not. Third one, as the air pulled rather than pushed into the lungs, it is a positive pressure breathing. This statement, what is wrong here is this is a negative pressure breathing. Warming, humidifying and filtering process of air is completed in the nasal cavity. This is again wrong. And the fifth one, muscles of the neck and the chest must be involved in breathing in addition to intercostal muscles and the diaphragm. This answer is taken as the correct answer, but in order to make it more precise, it has to mention whether it's a deep breathing or not. In the deep breathing only we will need, other than the intercostal muscles, there will be neck and chest muscles will be helpful. I'm coming to question number 24. Question number 24 says innate immunity. It is a slow response against broad range of pathogens and foreign substances. What is wrong here in this sentence is it is a rapid response. Other part of the rest of the sentence is correct. And the second one, it is telling found in vertebrates and invertebrates. This is true. Innate immunity is found in both the vertebrates and invertebrates, whereas the acquired immunity is present only in vertebrates. And the third one, store responses for specific invaders. This is regarding broad range of pathogens. It doesn't look for any of the specific pathogen. So it kills a broad range of pathogen without specificity. So number 3 is also wrong. In the number 4, lack a chemical barrier. This is also wrong. There are chemicals which are helpful in innate immunity. And the 5th one, mechanism also provided by T lymphocyte. T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes are related with acquired immunity. So I'm taking answer number 2 as the correct answer here in the 24th question. In 25th question, select the incorrect statement regarding the nephron. Juxtamedullary nephrons absorb more water than cortical nephrons. We can't say that. In the second one, it consists single long tubule with Bowman capsule and ball of capillaries. This is true. And third one, it is lined by a single cell layer, simple epithelium. So that is also correct. And fourth one, due to the size of blood cells, platelets and plasma proteins, they are not found in the glomerular filtrate. This is also again true. And the fifth one, regulation of K plus and NaCl concentration is mainly achieved by distal convoluted tubules. This is totally correct one. So I'm taking number 1 as the wrong statement in here of this question. I am going to finish after discussing 25 questions from this question paper. Rest of the paper will be discussed in another video. If you have any clarifications regarding these questions that I discussed, you can ask questions in the comment section. I am not telling I am 100% correct regarding this statement that I am giving into answers. You also can think more about whether these answers are correct or not, and if there's anything you need to ask from me, please write a comment there in the comment section. Thank you everyone for listening to the video. I'm going to end up the video now.